Hey everybody, this is Makai Pierce. I'm currently in 12th grade and I am taking ACE Media Studies. Hopefully, I can answer some questions about my thoughts and my ideas for filming, and hopefully, I can tell you guys my personal story about the relating to the main character and his experience. So, here's the rest of my CCR. How does my product use conventions and how do they represent social group or issues? Well, that is a great question. How my project uses conventions is by representing and showing my audience um, how high school can be overwhelming to some students. Most freshmen, when they first come into high school, they don't know what to expect and they don't know how to handle a certain amount of workload. Sometimes, they're too hard on themselves or they're just too lazy. Um, but sometimes, for me, like personally, I like my first 2 years of high school, I struggled with my grades and stuff like that because I was just getting overwhelmed with work. I didn't know how to manage it with sports and other activities outside of school activities and like spending time with my family and friends and stuff like that while still getting all my work done. It's a hard time for some students because it's just it's a lot of adjusting to do, and I feel like some students are just not prepared for it. So when I was filming this, I wanted to have that aspect of being overwhelmed by school and just having emotions because high schoolers are teenagers. They're going through a lot of their bodies are changing. They're figuring more stuff about themselves and what they want to do and how they think and stuff like that. Um, so I felt like I can represent how I felt uh, in my first few years of high school through this film, and I hope that it reaches out to other people and how they can overcome this overwhelming feeling of just work, 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 work. So just know you're not alone out there, and just take a second, talk to somebody. Everybody's always willing to help. How did my product engage with the audience and how did it distribute as real media products? Well, I feel like that my product or my project engaged with the audience through being able to like understand what it's like to being in the main character's position or my position. Um, because, like mentioned before, a lot of people when they first get into high school, it's a whole new experience for them, and it's basically diving into the unknown. And I wanted the audience to be able to relate to the situation or what the main character was feeling because as teenagers, we have so many emotions going through us. Like we're constantly changing. We're figuring out what we want to do in life. So I really wanted the audience to be engaged with it and to be like understand what he's feeling and you know kind of push or want the best for him. And I also wanted to relate my film to another movie called Groundhog Day. Um, it's about basically the same concept of somebody being stuck in a loop, and he can't get out of this loop until he finds out what he's doing wrong in life and stuff like that. So once the main character in my film figures out what the main purpose of like high school is and not just becoming overwhelmed, but enjoying high school, becoming like overcoming this overwhelming feeling of just work, work, work. So I'm hoping that the audience will be able to relate to that and have a connection with the main character and the story. How did my production skills develop throughout this project? Well, I've learned quite a lot of things during this project. One is time management. I waited till very last second to do some of my stuff, which again overwhelmed me. Like I talked about in the last question, just overwhelming myself and just not having good time management. Um, I also learned about how to be patient. I had an audio issue, like I talked about on one of my blog posts. there was just this weird noise in the background. It was getting me so angry, and I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to restart. I already did a big chunk of my film, and it has this weird noise. I tried my best to get rid of it. But I feel like if I was patient with myself, I was like, you know what, we're gonna get past this. It's all gonna be okay. Having a positive attitude too is something I learned throughout this, because if you have a negative attitude, you're just gonna have a negative result and negative outcome for your film. And I kept my head high and just kept pushing through, and I feel like my film turned out really good. Communication too was another thing that I learned. It was my first time working with another actress, and having her personality and her feedback too. She kind of helped me with like, oh, what happened if we did this? What happened if you did this? And it was just good to have a good communication with her, because it was vital for the film to get done. You know, if we were just bickering and arguing back and forth, and nothing would have been done, and me or her wouldn't have been happy with the results. So, communicating was a skill that I learned very quick, and I'm glad I did, because it made everything go much smoother. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I've learned. How did I integrate technologies in this project? Well, that is a awesome question, because I use a few different things to help me with my filmmaking. I wanted to have a higher end quality project, and I decided, instead of using my, your typical iPhone, I wanted to use my own personal camera, which is a Nikon something, but it's a very high end camera. It was my first time ever using it for film, so I was kind of curious to see how it would work and stuff like that. And I had a tripod for it, which made it even better, so I can do some stuff on my own and wouldn't have to rely on somebody else to help me. Um, but when I was using it the first time, I filled a big chunk of it um, in the wrong video settings, so it just came all grainy and stuff like that. And I couldn't really on like redo or reshoot all of my videos that I did, and so it made me really frustrated. But eventually, after I learned what I did wrong, I fixed some settings on the camera, and the quality came out really good on the rest of the film. So I'm really happy with that. There was also background noise that I talked about, um, and I decided, I was like, I think it's because the microphone within the camera. So I got one of my old headsets from like my Xbox. I took one of the microphones out, because it was just a headphone jack on the end of it, and I plugged it into the camera, and it worked perfectly as a microphone. So the sound quality became so much better. You didn't have that weird background noise in the background. So yeah, and using iMovie too, which is a lifesaver with editing and putting sound in and stabilizing shaking, which was a big thing, because some of them, my other friend helped me, or like recorded me, and it was a little shaky because it was their first time ever filming. So I had to stabilize the footage, which made the video look so much better and not so shaky. So yeah. So here, one of my favorite shots, nice close-up shot of the alarm going off. Main character will turn it off, and then he reaches for the light, and then perfectly transitions to him turning it on. So for this part, there was a transition that I really liked that I had to cut out because it made the film too long. Here it is now of where my idea was for once he got out of bed, he walked to the bathroom and brushed his teeth, but I had to cut it out because it was too long. This is one of my other favorite transitions right here. Walks right past the camera, bam, different angle. And then here's the other side, which I'm super proud of. Bam, just cut straight to him walking. It really continues the story of understanding like what he's doing and like how his morning is before school. Well, I learned a lot from doing this project. I would highly recommend that any incoming Cambridge students, or just any students in general that are able to take ACE Media Studies, should totally do it. It's such a fun learning experience, especially if you're interested in the cinematography or film industry. It's a great step into that major or that field. Um, I've learned a lot from like different terms to use, different positions in the film industry, how films are made, the money and economic uh, reasoning that go within film. There's just a lot to learn, and I find it super interesting, and I'm super glad I got the opportunity to use my cinematography skills to film a short little movie. So, thank you for watching this, and I really hope you guys enjoyed my my final project. So, thank you.